Oh, it's Mr. McFeely.
I have seen the future, and he was wearing number 5, and I ain't talking about Robbie Grimsley, folks.
Took out the muffins, took out the trail mix, took out the cookies. They stole the monster cookies.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's do some broadcasting.
Let's do some broadcasting with our guy, Mike McFeely. Joins us in studio each and every Tuesday at 9:35. Michael's been out at Bison Fall Camp. We'll get to that in a minute. Big headline in the Star Tribune today. This is not going to be a shocker to you. Minnesota Twins approaching the worst fan turnout in Target Field history.
Yeah.
No surprise.
And it was going to be that way regardless, just because the attendance has been dropping for the Twins. Although the other day, I keep reading about how terrible the attendance is, and I mean they had 28,000, I think, on Friday night or Saturday. They had 26,000. The place only seats 38,000 or something for baseball.
You were there, probably the most well-attended game of the season.
Yeah, and I'm not denying that the attendance is going to be as low as it's ever been since they moved into the stadium in 2010. But this idea that there's 3,000 people at the games is it's just not true.
That's not good,
in another 3 weeks.
Right.
Yes.
When school starts.
There might be 3,000 people. But like Saturday, I looked it up because I was watching it on TV and I'm going, well, there's actually a lot of people there. And it was 29,000, which isn't bad.
No, it's not. It's just the last 6 weeks can play out the way it's going to, and then it'll be done.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
No one really cares
nobody
right
cares.
now. I was actually, the NBA schedule, TV nuggets dropped. The Wolves are in the headlines again. Wolves are going to play on Christmas Day again, which is
they've been to the
Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, right?
They've been to the semifinals 2 years in a row. And
So
they
they
have
should.
Anthony Edwards, so they should be featured on television.
So we'll chat about
Let's
that.
not
earlier.
talk about the Boston Celtics. They're going to have a bit of a.
They're not on Christmas Day.
They're going to
for the
have a
first
bit
time
of a
forever.
rebuild.
It's not going to be good for the old Celts?
for the
Have
squad.
Have you prepared Michelle for that, or she prepared you for that? That it's not going to be a good winter.
I have prepared her for that, and she don't want to hear it.
Any part of that, right?
She does not want to hear it. So let's just not talk about
Got
that.
it. All right. So I want to hit on a couple things that you have written about at Bison Fall Camp. And one, we have not talked about this guy yet on our show, and it's perfect you wrote about him on Friday, is the running back transfer from Kennesaw State, one DJ Scott.
Yeah.
Who, I don't know, he transferred in May, and it was shortly after Marty Brown left, and I don't know if Bison fans thought, well, this is a one-for-one trade-off here, but
It is not,
it
by
is
the way.
not. But the young man has some size to him, but he's quicker than I thought. You're see a little bit of highlights. We have him from fall camp, Mike, that when we talked about this when he came in, and you can expound on this more, that he didn't really carry it a whole lot at Kennesaw State, and there's a variety of reasons of what went down there, but he's impressed so far, so much the fact that Tim Polisic said he's in the mix to be the number 2 running back.
I think he's the leader in the clubhouse at this point to be the number 2 running back. Let's start. Let's do the first thing we have to do with transfers. Transfers are a 50-50 proposition, okay? You can throw propaganda out there like some in FCS do about how every transfer is the greatest and they're going to be all Americans and we have replaced everybody with transfers and they're just no. It's transfers are a 50-50 proposition. So you can look at North Dakota State's history with transfers, and some were good and some have not done anything.
Didn't pan out
for them at all. So let's start there. DJ Scott was a pretty highly recruited kid out of Florida, just outside of Orlando.
Yep.
Actually had some good offers, some really good offers. At Cincinnati was all over him, from what I understand. I talked to Sam O'Jury, the Bison's running backs coach, on Friday about this, but Cincinnati was all over him. There was some other Buffalo, which isn't a bad program in the MAC. There's a couple other FBS schools, and then there was some decent FCS schools like Illinois State and some others that were in and wanted the kid to go. Sam kind of said, well, he kind of maybe waited a little too long, and maybe he was, I don't know, this is me speculating. This isn't Sam saying this, but maybe he's waiting for a better offer or just couldn't make up his mind or whatever the situation was. And so as happens, then the offers dry up.
Teams move on.
Because teams will sign somebody else and say, okay, whatever. He ended up going to Kennesaw State, which is one of the worst FBS programs in FBS. Last year was their first year. in FBS, and it was not good.
Nope.
But when I talked to DJ, and he's a quiet kid, he's not, expansive or gregarious. Nice guy, but just not one sentence answers, which is either me asking bad questions, which is always a possibility, or he just isn't a very talkative, and he doesn't know me, so why would he tell me his life story? But he said, well, I'm a Florida guy. Kennesaw was pretty close to home, and that factored in. I had some family members around Atlanta. That factored in. So the family side of things and being close to home was important to him. So he went to Kennesaw. Now, we remember Kennesaw as being an option team. Remember when they were running the option team was Brian Bohannon, the head coach, and they were actually like a quarterfinalist in the FCS playoffs a couple of years. Chris Kleiman was never that impressed with him, but we can get into that later. That's an inside joke between Dom and I, which you should never do in broadcasting. No. Never tell inside jokes because we laugh and nobody else knows what the heck we're talking
funny,
about.
Though.
But he went to Kennesaw State, and they're no longer an option team.
Yeah.
They were actually a single back team last year. And so DJ came in as a redshirted the first year, played in a couple of games, actually had a long touchdown run as a true freshman. Last year as a redshirt freshman, he was 4th or 5th on the depth chart. And Sam O'Jury said, I know everybody's looking at the record. I know everybody's looking at Kennesaw State as being 2-10 and got off. But he said they really did have a number of good running backs. They were good at running back because that's what they had recruited for so long with the way they ran their offense. Yep. He said DJ kind of got caught up in that. He was kind of as a redshirt freshman, was the 4th or 5th back, just never got a chance to play. He said the running backs did okay, and then once they started losing games, then it was, we're just going to play our first stringers from start to finish because we got to try to win a few games here. Didn't work out. But DJ at the end of the year said, I'm just not getting a chance here. Went in the transfer portal. O'Jury knew of him. I don't think he directly recruited him in Florida, but he knew of him because Sam was at Illinois State last year. So he knew of DJ Scott. Said they checked out some guys. He was one of the ones they checked out. Some of the guys came in with what Sam would call red flags. He goes, these transfers, it's tough because you got to do everything so fast. Yeah. But you got to,
it's speed dating.
You have to do your homework. And he said some of the kids we're looking at, he said, first of all, some of the high end, the P4 drop downs, he says, you know what the first question they ask is? It's not like, what's your culture?
No.
Like, what's your offense?
No.
Like, how's your coaching staff? What are the facilities? The first question is, how much are you going to pay me?
How much money? Yep.
So he said, those guys are out. He said they checked out some other guys. There's just some things that came up. DJ was in the mix from the start. Said no red flags came up with DJ. He's a hard worker. He's got some talent. He's got some skill. And Sam O'Jury thinks that he's going to be a good one. So another longtime Bison guy that I ran into at practice yesterday, DJ Scott took a handoff and went around the end for a big gain in practice, and that person said, I like that kid.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. He's going to be good.
Well,
So we'll see.
Brought it up to us on last Wednesday, I think unprompted, when he said he thought this group of running backs could be better than what they had last year.
Yeah,
as a whole.
Yeah, I heard you talking about this yesterday a little bit. I don't think that they're saying that the top guy is going to be as good as the top guy. Although Barika Penu, I think, is poised for a pretty good year. He looks pretty sharp. Yep. Sam O'Jury talked about him as well on Friday. He said Barika's going to have a good year. I think if everything goes the way we hope it can go. But I think as a whole, I think they're talking about as a group that it's going to be probably a deeper running backs room, as we say, than it was a year ago.
And that's going to include Miles Mitchell as well, the true freshman who's battling with Scott. Owen Johnson is back as well as part of that. Cortez LeGrand is a transfer from Minnesota who they think can give them something there.
Yeah, kind of that speedy guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare, but like the Jalen Bussey.
Yep.
Remember him his first couple of years?
Yep.
Like he would come in the second half and get a crease and go 80 yards.
And
those kind of guys.
I'll remind people the running back room last year. I mean, on day 3, Polisic told us Peter Haugo is moving to running back. That's the situation they were in last year after because Barika got hurt early in fall camp last year too.
And if you think last year, Tim Polisic, one of the first things he said publicly when he was the head coach at North Dakota State is, we need to get our running backs back to where they were when I was here before, where they were the stars. They were the guys on the posters. It was Lance Dunn, Bruce Anderson, Sam O'Jury.
Sam O'Jury was one of them.
Gosh, he was good.
Crockett.
John Crockett.
Yeah.
That's where NDSU's running backs kind of used to be, where they were the guys.
The dudes.
You just think of big run after big run, whether it's Sam O'Jury against Georgia Southern or whoever, or John Crockett against Iowa State. Tim Pausick wanted to bring that back. I think they started to get there last year, toward the end of the year, especially when Marty Brown kind of started to figure things out a little bit and could go for a 20 or 30-yard gain. I think they're hoping to get further down that path this year.
Yeah, with a little bit of explosion too. Like DJ's got that. He's got some shiftiness and get around, like you mentioned yesterday.
You know what he has? Burst.
So I can't wait for the season to start because we can stop using terms we only use for 1 month out of the year.
He's flashed a lot in practice. He's popped.
He's getting some good run.
He's getting some good run.
Good run
he
right
is,
now.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, let's break. We come back. Want to chat about something Mike's been working on for the last little bit that's going to debut coming up later this week online and in the paper. We'll do that. We come back, wrap up our first hour of Hot Mike right after this on WDAY Extra. Welcome back, everybody. A few minutes left here with Mike joining us here. We're going through Wisconsin's football schedule for unknown reasons. Reasons only known to you and I.
Yeah.
And Vanel's on vacation, or else he'd totally disagree with what we had.
Well, yes, he'd have him going 12
and 0.
So I've got him going, 4-8?
4-8. We went through that. Yeah. Yep. Not great.
Nope.
How about the Ghosts? What do we make of? Because there's a couple of emails on this that I was going to get to later in the week, but I'll have it go now. Like, what do we make of PJ's bunch for this year?
I'm still not a PJ Fleck is not my flavor, and that's whatever. I mean, I'm an old man that just doesn't like all the BS and all that stuff. I think there's a good layer of phoniness there.
Yep.
But I'll say this, that he's got the Gophers football program pretty consistent.
Yep.
They had a number of guys, again, get drafted. He's got some players in there. I think he's trying to do it the right way, that you have to do it in Minnesota, and I have no problem with what he's doing.
I love watching Coy Parrish. I mean, he's a star.
Yep, I have no problem with what, and I think he's cut back on some of that.
It's not nearly as in your face as it was.
I think he's, he's got about 3 contract extensions out of him now, and so he's like going, okay, I'm set for life, and so are my next 4 generations of my family. So I don't hear the row the boat stuff 7,000 times a day. I know he's trying to sell the program and all of that stuff. But he's fine. He's hired some good assistants. They're getting some of the good kids out of Minnesota that used to leave.
That did not stay.
Like Coy Parrish would not have stayed in Minnesota 10 years ago.
No.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, I don't think
he would have either gone to Wisconsin or Ohio State, and he stayed in Minnesota. So, or come to. If it was Tim Brewster, he would have come to North Dakota State.
That's right.
And they would have won 3 national championships with
Their
him.
Schedule does them no favors this year. They go to
they have a tough-
Columbus.
yes.
They go to Iowa this year. They go to Oregon this year, and they have tricky one. Northwestern is probably going to be better too. Northwestern, it's every other year the Wildcats are good. So they weren't good last year. Northwestern, I bet you, watch, they'll be good this year.
Okay.
I'm telling you, watch. And then they have the Badgers at home.
Gophers by 3 touchdowns against Northwestern.
Okay. And their FCS game is Northwestern State. You've been to Northwestern State, have you not?
I have. Yeah.
So Southland stop.
How bad is that, though? I see all these. You go on FBSschedules.com as you do, and you look at these FCS games that these FBS schools are scheduling, and you just go, come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
What are we doing here?
Okay.
Which is again for the 33rd thousandth time. I'm going to say this. For all of you people out there saying, "Oh, we're going to stay in FCS and win national championships," no. Look at some of the games you can get if you're an FBS, a G5 school.
Yep.
Now, it wouldn't all change because they'd be a good G5 school, but Boise State is really, 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 and they get good FBS games because they're FBS.
Yes. Heck,
They don't want the FCS label. If they're going to play in FCS, they're going to play Murray State or Western Illinois or Northwestern State.
Yeah.
They're not going to play South Dakota State or NDSU. And USD is going to start having a problem as well.
Correct. How are you going to feel this year when your friends at Mo State play USC?
I see they're already, 25.5-point underdogs.
But they're playing Southern Cal.
But they're hosting, aren't they hosting Marshall?
Yes.
And they play SMU.
Yes. Yes.
They're playing a Big Ten team. What's SMU these days?
ACC.
They're hosting a Sun Belt school.
Is that good? Hello.
I mean, if you're North Dakota State and you get one of those games,
Oh my gosh.
if you somehow get to the Mountain West, and you and I heard you yesterday with Kolpak saying they're not going anywhere. They're stuck in FCS.
They are.
You need to be optimistic, my friend. Okay?
This is odd coming from you that I
Yes,
need to be
I know,
optimistic.
but that's how desperate I am. That just shows you how desperate I am that I want NDSU to get to FBS. My God.
Off of
Just
that,
come on. Positive
all right,
vibes.
I'll try.
It's not dead yet.
Okay. All
It's
right.
not over till I say it's over. And it ain't over
All right.
yet.
Okay. All right. I'll change my tune just because you said
FBS.
Off of that, you've been grinding away. There's been no summer vacation in the
No.
McFeely house this year.
No.
Because debuting on Friday, Inforum.com, and in the actual paper, right? Will it be
the E-edition.
E-edition will be out there?
Yeah.
Michael has chosen the top 75 North Dakota State football games in the Division
In
I
FCS.
era.
Since 2004.
So
Correct.
how in the world, did you select 75 games here? Because initially it was like 100, wasn't it?
It was going to be 100, and then once I got past 75, I could have gone to 85, let's say.
75 is a good number.
But I just kind of went, it's not, I'm a big, round it up off type of thing. I was going to go to 100, and I went, well, some of these games are kind of sketchy. I mean, I could have done it.
Yeah.
And then plus it just takes up so much space. But yeah, so I just kind of went through every game.
And you chatted
I
with
went through every game.
And you chatted with
a
former coaches,
bunch of
I mean,
luminaries,
yeah.
bunch of former coaches, former administrators, former players.
Everybody you think you'd want to talk to, you did.
No. I mean, I could have talked to 100 people. I did not. I just chose kind of carefully and getting some different eras involved here because it's been 21 years now, and there's been 4 head coaches. So I did talk to every head coach in the Division I era and picked their brains. Had some great conversations, by the way. Just
really
some
good
really
stuff.
good stories and stuff. So
I can't wait for people to see it. It's really neat.
And you've been a part of this as well. I kind of consulted you and some others, Kolpak and guys just that have covered NDSU for a long time and kind of got some different ideas. But I literally ranked them 1 to 75.
Yep.
Like when I say top games, it's most impactful games in Division I.
Doesn't necessarily be best games, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, there are losses.
There's some boat races that are up there.
There's some losses and some boat races because those games helped shape. The overarching question at the end of the day for me was, what games have made NDSU football into what NDSU football is today?
Yeah. And why ESPN was
And
here
why
yesterday.
ESPN was here yesterday. Yes.
You're not going to find the 2019 Bison 47-22 win at Delaware where Danny Rocco after the game would not answer what his quarterback situation was.
That one. What was the exact quote? Do you really think I'm going to answer that question right now? That was the exact quote. And I said, I have to ask.
Yeah.
He goes, it's unlikely that I'm going to answer that question right now. Get out of here. Go away.
That was 2 years in a row that they got his you-know-what kicked by the Bison there when we went to
And then where did he went to Richmond after that?
And now he's at VMI. He's the coach at VMI now.
Go away.
But it's fantastic. Rob Beer's an awesome job laying things out. There's a podcast attached with it as well.
There's going to be a
out.
podcast that we recorded recently. So there'll be 5 or 6 stories, literally a list, an interactive list.
That's cool.
Of 1 to 75, where when you click on the game, like let's say number 47.
Okay.
You click on that game, it expands to show a photo of the sports section that day.
Oh, that's
after
cool.
the winner lost.
That's
Plus,
neat.
I wrote capsules for all 75 games with some of the details from the games, all the games, actually, 1 to 75.
Wow. Is there one not in the top 10 that stands out to you? Like,
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say. We'll talk about that maybe next week when I'm on after the list is out. We can.
I'm really
interested
in the feedback you get, though.
I would encourage everybody who reads it. We're going to have a place where people can vote for their games, at least 5 or 10 or something like that of them. And I would encourage everybody to comment on the stories or send me emails or whatever. I'm not on social media much these days, although I did promote this today on Twitter, and I just came away with my skin crawling, having to go on that burning pile of garbage social media site. But anyway, Friday morning sometime.
Okay.
It's all going to drop at inform.com. It's just fun. It's just something fun. And you may or may not agree, probably won't agree with.
That's the best part about it.
With all 75. Yeah. And certainly the number one game that I picked as the most important game in NDSU's FCS history.
It's debatable.
You may not agree.
Yep. Great stuff, man. Looking forward to seeing it. Thanks for coming by as always. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McFeely joins us in studio each and every Tuesday at 9:35. We'll break. We'll start our second hour. Big football hour coming. We'll head out to Minot. We'll also head to Mayville as they're starting their season, I think, in like 2 days. No, it's 2 weeks for the Comets. It's coming up. We come back on Hot Mike right after this.